I've been thinking recently how many of our activities and feelings are determined by our physiological abilities and states versus psychological ones. So, for example, you might be grumpy in general in your life or not satisfied, not happy. And I recently read that this can be caused by one gene. So it's when you have this gene, it's much more likely, for example, that you will become an addict or an alcoholic. Obviously, it's not granted, but it's more likely. So that's one thing. If you feel sleepy at 1 or 2 p.m., especially after lunch, it might be a sign that you have insulin's resistance, and it just that the sugar level has dropped so much at this time of a day that you feel really sleepy. And for years you might be thinking that that's just how you are, that's just you, but it might not be true, and it all might be caused by substances in your body. And similarly, if you have trouble learning, trouble accumulating new knowledge, that might be also a sign that you just don't have the chemicals necessary for your neurons in the brain to communicate together, to fire up and transfer the knowledge, transfer the signals in your brain. So that kind of thing inspires me recently to just be conscious about how you are feeling, whether we are happy or not happy or kind of sad, especially when it's a repeated pattern, like for many months or maybe even years. Like when I wake up, I don't really feel energized or like willing to do something. And I was recently just started wondering, well, maybe it's my attitude, so it can be psychological, but maybe it's just the sugar level is so low that I don't want to get up, I don't want to do anything, and until I eat and it becomes a bit higher, I'm not motivated to do anything. So that might be one explanation, a different explanation. So I started to looking into those patterns and see, well, if you're not happy, well, maybe you can hack your own brain, hack your own body, like it's called biohacking. So maybe you can just make a proper research. Read, okay, what gives you a happiness, whether it's dopamine or serotonin or other stimulant, other thing in your body. And maybe there are things that you can do, like for example, change your diet a little bit to increase it. If it's possible to increase testosterone and be stronger, have more muscles, then maybe it's also possible to increase dopamine and serotonin level by behaving differently, by eating differently. And one of the things that you can do that I realized recently is that you can exercise more. But I didn't really focus too much on that. I knew that I had to exercise, but I was not doing it. And one of the reasons was that I knew that I had to, but I didn't know why. I didn't know how it works, what it does to your body. So the thing that I did recently is like I'm reading like second or third book about what's exercising doing to your organism. And then I think that this really works for us as programmers. Like when we accumulate the knowledge, when we know the why, we are much more willing to do something. We are much more willing to train or make changes in code or attend a conference, give a talk, write certain features, whatever we need to do. We are much more inclined to do it when we know why. So I started to read why I need to exercise, and that makes me much more willing to go and actually do exercise. It's just not enough for someone to tell me, oh, go training. No, that doesn't work. But if you read 300 pages about this topic, not only you know why, not only you know much better how, you know all the side effects that it causes in your body, but you can actually go and tell your friends about it.